thing behind me, but that's... Yeah.
Hello. There was a technical mistake, but my finger is so damn quick you you probably didn't even see it. You did, however, hear the mistake I made. So let me start over. Hi, my name's Kevin. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. These wonderful people are here, and it is Saturday, so it must be time for Corsairs of the Cosmos. That means space pirating, blaster fire, and a lot of bad decisions. But first, it means that I have to do some technicals, which means I require some sustenance. Anybody who's wearing this is coffee. So don't worry.
It's an Irish
Tonight,
coffee.
It is not. No, there has been no Irish in my coffee for over 30 years, actually. But our game tonight, Corsairs of the Cosmos, is using the Scum and Villainy game system. It's a Forged in the Dark game by Stras Asimovich and John LaBeouf Little. The character sheets that we're using in Roll20, which is our virtual tabletop of choice. Character sheets are done by Tim Dene, Jacob Ossinghouse, and Chris McDonald, all from Evil Hat Productions. The background imagery around the overlay is from Pixabay. The music that you heard and will continue to hear is from bensound.com. The face rigging that you will see is from FaceRig. The high-def character art for 3 of our characters is done using HeroForge. The other one is done using a cookie, who is a wonderfully talented artist and assistant makeup artist as well, who has done Mihoshi's art for them. Which brings me to my players. My wonderfully talented, over-the-top, please break my game characters. We're just going to do them with the order that they're on the screen for this evening, starting with Bison playing 8-ball/Q-ball/ who knows who else coming along the lines.
Also that.
Yeah, what are you doing when you're not here?
Putting the finishing touches on my Cyberpunk Red project. I believe I am taking your advice to heart and using Roll20 as little as possible. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll get her going. I don't plan on streaming it because first time for everything, and I'm new at this, so I don't want to make everybody embarrassed by watching my ass suck at things. Other than that, you will occasionally find me playing SnowRunner with Bruce Bar on Twitch.
Excellent. Thank you. And it's an incredible system. It is a land of many toys, but you can get lost in that fucker like in a Christmas gift shop. So, keep it really simple and keep moving forward is my advice with that system. It's what I try and do with all of these. Next, in the midst of a starfield of her own creation, in all likelihood, we'll talk about Mihoshi in a minute, but first let's talk about Solar Dasher. You got a bunch of stuff going on.
I stream myself. Don't have a set schedule yet. I'm working on figuring out when I plan on streaming. Most likely in the evenings on the weekdays, and then maybe once this is done on Saturdays, no Sunday, because sometimes I have 2 games, sometimes I watch wrestling. Either way, you can find me at twitch.tv/solar_dasher. I also have my own RPG site, Bleach: The Darkness Within. My players are bugging me to continue role-playing on that one, so I need to get on it. I'll probably do that before I stream tonight. Most of the time when I stream, it's Fortnite. I also play Fall Guys. I have Marbles on stream. And many free stuff that I can find online. So if you guys are interested, please come by. Give me suggestions. Whisper to me suggestions. What have you. I'm an open book as long as it doesn't cost money right now.
Works for me. Thank you very much. And that takes us to our very good friend, Discard Adventurer, playing Frankie for us this evening. I know, first of all, you are pooped. You did a monster session yesterday. Start with that and tell us about the website.
God. So, yesterday, from what was my 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., we did a role-playing game stream of a brand new system that is still in the midst of really having the final touches being put on it. Made by the amazing Aqua Summerwood. Summerwood. What did I say? Doesn't matter.
It was close.
Anyways.
It was close.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a lot of fun. I got to meet some fantastic, lovely people there, and I am so tired. It hurts
Yes.
so much.
So I'll remind you.
I almost don't want to be here.
I know. The only thing you need to talk about now, though, is the scarredadventurer.com, and then it's
Yes.
totally up to you. The two of these guys, you know how this works. If you need to go lay down and have a sleep, go lay down and have a sleep and leave these two fools to their own devices. That's how this works. But until then, tell us about the scarredadventurer.com. Quick.
So the scarredadventure.com is a website where I do creative stuff with a bunch of creative, wonderful people. You can check them out there on the website. The link will be somewhere, regardless of what time you are watching this, hopefully.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's just a lot of fun. Even last night, I brought up the scarredadventure.com briefly, and I read a passage from one of the things that I did.
Very nice.
It's still a lot of fun. Please check it out. I put a lot of work into it, and if more people start going, I really like this, do more, then I'll do more.
Yes, and please do go and check it out. There are a tremendous amount of talented people all pumping out an amazing amount of stuff. I mean, it's funny hearing them all
Yes.
go, oh, I'm working on some stuff. That's how creative people are. When it's done, it's done. When it's polished, it's polished. And if it's not done and it's not polished and it's still a turd, and I wouldn't show it to anybody either. So...
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes a turd with stain remover is just a
It is
less directional turd.
And, it's been sprayed with stuff to make it safe, and but still, anyway,
that's some of the work I do. But
that leaves me. I'm here always. I think I'm not here Mondays and Wednesdays. I think is the only 2 nights that I'm not here. Other than that, I'm here. There, that's enough about me. Let's get into this game tonight. But first, the news. Good evening. I am Vindicta Necesse, and this is The New Truth. A presentation of the Hegemon's mother, the Lady Gloria Everlight, former regent in her son's name and currently chief vizier to the Hegemon. From now on, things around here are going to be a little different. Our first story this evening has a personal element. The previous host of this time slot, Reynolds Rapp, will not be returning. His body was discovered yesterday, but identification took some time. When found, he was stretched so long and thin that he'd become a transparent film that had to be wound repeatedly around a cardboard tube before being buried in a long, thin coffin. When asked for comment, his agent simply said, I hardly knew him, but he was always a little clingy. Also in the news today is the breaking story that the Hantu Gate has been opened by the Seekers. After 50-plus years of searching for the correct components to rebuild the gate, they have succeeded in opening it. They first passed through it 6 days ago. The initial reconnaissance party has never been seen again. The second, more heavily armed group also failed to return. The only survivor from the third mission, Joyce Mulligan, tells, when she is lucid, of being attacked by automated solid-state holographic olfactory loathsomeness emitters, or assholes for short. These aerosol-spraying enemies have driven off all attempts to communicate with great loss to those forces loyal to the Seekers and Lady Gloria
That
Everett.
happened last week.
The organization is rumored to be calling in favors from the 51st Legion, an organization many of them were... Oh my goodness, there we go, we're back. There has been a slight issue, so please hold on for a second, because I gotta fix some stuff. Yeah. So we are missing a person at the moment, so this does mean that I'm going to have to move some stuff around. So just give me a second, please. How about the two of you chat amongst yourselves? You can't do it in character because one of your characters is not in the room at the moment. But please, I know, Actually, I got a great one. Solar. By now, I really, really, really should have gotten your Bleach the Darkness thing into a blurb to put on this channel over in the chat. So, can you tell us a little more about that system and about that game?
It's an RPG
Mhm.
based on the anime Bleach.
Okay.
Basically, you become not one of the characters within the actual anime, but you can create your own character based on the different classes within the anime. For example, you can create a Soul Reaper,
Okay. Yeah.
or you can create what they call an Arankar, which is one of the bad guys,
Sure.
etc., etc. I personally have almost one in every of the categories that we have there,
Of
as well
course.
as, of course, because hey, that's me. I make a million characters. I love to make characters. I love to
Well,
role
you,
play.
you are in a room full of people that could have that conversation all day, Bison included. You
Oh,
actually
that's
you were bemoaning earlier today. Uh, Actually, not bemoaning. There's a great meme that you put out earlier today. The
Yeah, getting
traditional
to more.
looking over your shoulder at the new thing meme, but it's a new character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Yeah.
be
No,
designing the current campaign. Yeah.
I can do that. Like watching a TV show, I'll have probably 3 characters by the end of the episode.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a show that
I,
interests me,
yeah, I still have
and it's got a
characters that are
cool.
not finished, and then I get backstories for these guys and continually add on. Plus, I have like characters in other RPGs.
Oh sure.
Originally,
Yeah.
I had a Pokemon RPG that kind of went down the toilet, but that's okay.
Yeah. It happens.
I'm into that too. I had
To be
even
honest, somebody should do that video. Somebody, maybe me, should do the video about, hey, it's okay that your game failed. Lots of them do. Right? You know?
oh yeah, but
The
I would
campaign fell apart.
suggest probably most of them die out before they ever get to actually ending a campaign.
yeah.
There we go. Okay. I
Yay.
believe we're functional again. We got an 8-ball where an 8-ball's supposed to be, and a Mahoshi where a
Right.
Mahoshi's used to be, framed by infinite darkness and underlined by me and some stuff. All right. So now we cut back from the news. There, that's the part I'm going to edit. This time I actually might. I always joke about editing. This time I actually might. So how this plays out is 8-ball or cue ball, pardon me. When you get back to the ship, there's human stuff going on back by the Fiona. You're getting messages from the Fiona like, "Ooh, I can hear them." So you just bugger off and go and do. Actually, what do you do? Do you
Well,
start there?
Q-Ball,
What do you do?
when we did actually end things last week, Q-Ball did head back into the maintenance closet
Yes.
because the Institute of Higher Violence is not a high-end casino station, and he's been out of the loop for about 100 or so years. So he doesn't really. It was a lot to take in, and
Mhm.
Q-Ball understands that this is not their place.
Absolutely.
Its skills are for diplomats and getting things done through words, not blasters.
Right.
So he's retreated to the maintenance closet where it's safe, where it's warm and comfy, and is letting
Yes.
8-Ball, who has by this time figured out what the crap has gone on,
Yes.
to take the reins again.
And we leave hidden in a mistily dark, not quite looked at corner, the last resort. And we'll just leave that one in that bottom cupboard for now.
Yeah.
Mihoshi. When all is said and done, the professor stands up and sort of grabs his stuff, his clothes, and his wig and his mask, and starts sort of backing out of the tent. That was great. Thank you. I really bye. Okay. And unless you stop him, he's just holding all of his stuff in front of himself.
Right.
Yeah.
she's not actually gonna stop him unless he wants her to show him, where he's going to be staying on the ship.
Oh, okay. As he's backing out, he says, "I guess your friends will take me to the once we get to Iota, they'll take me down."
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Is this a big ship? Am I
Yeah.
Am I get? So I'm
Get
not
your
necessarily going to see you a lot. I mean, I don't mean to be. He's just like super, super uncomfortable, even through his sort of very pale skin. You can see he's just hyper blushing at this point.
I'm probably gonna stay in my room for right now, except for maybe a small excursion I'm gonna take in a little while. But yeah, you probably won't see me too much unless you come to the bridge.
Okay, okay, okay. And he kind of backs out, holding his wig over his chest and his clothes sort of in a bundle in front of him, in front of his crotch. As he backs out, you hear from outside, you hear Saga say, "Cover your ass." As he backs out, and he kind of stops sort of halfway out of the flap of the tent, very quickly gets dressed, puts his wig on, it's crooked, straps his mask on, it's crooked too, and then he just, and backs out again.
And then as
Now,
soon as we know
yeah.
she's presentable, the tent and everything else disappears. And by then, I'm assuming he's gone.
Yep.
Saga's taking him to his room. She goes to her room, does a few things, visits a restaurant that the professor normally goes to.
Yeah.
And getting in a little bit of trouble there. And kind of quickly makes her way back to the ship. Pretty much stays in her room for the most part.
Yep.
For a lot of the journey, and unless she's on duty, taking care of things up at the helm of the ship. But otherwise, yeah, she's pretty much gonna stick to her room.
Yes. So mechanics-wise, you brought some heat on yourself for overindulging. Narrative-wise, you bragged in the wrong bar about your about the potential. What did we agree on? The potential shortcomings of Professor Calliope. Is that what?
That sounds like a reasonable thing to say.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that. So you've made some enemies of his friends. So and shame. Even Mihoshi knows that she's done something wrong here. So with that part in the bar, nothing else. She's an adult. But yeah, she stays in her room for most of the rest of the trip, which leaves 8-Ball, I guess, is back in charge of the ship. As you walk back onto the bridge, the Rebel Dalliance, you can just you feel like an electronic sigh of relief. Like, oh, good, he's back. You have to set course for Iota.
It all takes its time getting to the pilot's chair. Yes. As it just sort of it comes out of the thing, just sort of like kind of confused, because it isn't because it knows galactically where it is. Yes. This isn't where we left it. Nope. So it's like a little bit of "dude, where's my car?" and a little bit of "who touched my stuff?"
Yes.
So there's some double checking. Someone hasn't cleaned in a day. Just squeak.
Yeah.
Checks Rebel's closet, sees that there's nobody there, is a little confused as to why.
Yeah.
And then heads down into the pilot's chair and sends a quick comm to Mihoshi with just a little text bubble saying "where?" ?
And of course, she does reply back. She gives like a long explanation that eventually just tells him exactly where he's going, but also a little bit. This is before she got embarrassed, so she tells him a little bit about exploits of what happened and realized, wait, don't think you're interested in this. So here's where we need to go, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Bye. That's when she disappears, then comes back, and then when she comes back, she lets them know. Okay, let's go. Let's get out of here, please. Quick, fast, go, 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 go. I'll be in my room if you need me.
So, yeah, 8-ball. I mean, you guys aren't wanted or anything. You do the standard stuff. You switch transponders before you get to the gate and go through as the Terpsichore's dream, was it?
Terpsichore's Vaunt.
Terpsichore's Vaunt. That's what it was. Yes, that's how you pass through the gate, and through the other side, the Rebel Dalliance by itself sort of shakes off that that effect. At that point, you arrive at the planet, and this is when Saga and Frankie say, "We'll take the professor down planet side and drop him off. We're going to stay here for a bit and leave the two of you for the rest of the journey." So the three of them leave. Yeah, get off my ship. So the three of them are gone, leaving only the two of you in the Rebel Dalliance. Well, I shouldn't say the two of you. 4-ball is there as well. The three of you and the Rebel Dalliance are all floating in space around this planet, with only the vaguest memories of what Rebel told you you were supposed to do next.
What was our mission here?
As you say that, you hear a clatter in the closet. Clank, 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 thud, 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 clank. Damn it.
Question mark coming from 8-ball, knowing that it checked that closet.
Yep.
And Mihoshi in her spot, because she doesn't want to be down in the bay where everybody says goodbye.
Yeah.
Kind of does this slow little turnaround type thing with her head.
Yeah.
Cartoon style. I'll take a little bit of Frankie there and just do a cartoon style head turn.
Yeah.
Where she's still sitting still, but her head turns around all the way.
Yep.
And it's like,
she owls this thing just all the way around. Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
You can see a pale blue light under the door. Actually, it outlines the whole door. From inside the closet, you hear bump, bump, bump. 8-ball, you look down and there's just a grin emoji on Rebel Dalliance's screen. She won't let him out of the closet. Come on, man, that's not funny. That's not funny at all. Open the damn door.
She's gonna go try and open the door.
As you get there, you see the light turn green. So when you push the button, it opens. You look inside, and the light was still red inside. He couldn't get out. So as you open the door, he then rolls out on that cheap plastic bass of his. And this time, there's no music. You look into the thing behind him, and all of his floating video balls and sound balls are all deactivated and laying on the floor. One of them's in a mop bucket, and it's just kind of floating in the mop water. They've all been deactivated. There's smoke coming out of a couple of them.
4-ball flies over to one and pokes it with a screwdriver.
It's going to take some work to get them functional again. They've been desorted. 4-ball knows it was by Rebel, the ship. Apparently, the Rebel Dalliance does not real fond of Rebel. So he kind of puts his foot on the back wall. Like he goes, you see him do something like he's preparing to do something, but the plastic thing doesn't move. So he just reaches over with his foot and pushes on the wall. So he comes squeaking out of the closet. Then his foot comes back.
And then Mihoshi gets behind him and pushes him too.
Thanks, darling. Thanks, darling. Make me look good. Where's my cameras? Where's my music? Oh, shit. Oh, hey, darling, he says to the screen. The happy face turns to a frowny face. Why'd y'all bring me here?
Maybe because we don't know what to do now.
Trained professionals like yourself forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
All right.
Robot.
Well, technically, Saga had that information, so yeah.
The robot and the airhead forgot to write it down. Oh shit.
All right, well, you're supposed to pick up a fella here in one of the planets on Iota and take him without passing through any customs along the way, because that'd be real bad. You got to take him back to where we all started in Rin.
Oh yeah.
Fella by the name of Sold, all capital letters, S-O-L-D, Sold.
Sold.
Funny fella, wears a suit, talks a lot.
He's not in the same location where they're taking Mr. Professor Thingamabobber, is he?
No, he's on another planet over here. He points at the 3D
Okay.
map. In the same sector, but a different planet.
Gotcha. Take us there.
You heard him, Rebel. And he looks at the dash.
Rebel.
And 8-Ball, you look down and absolutely nothing happens at his command.
Okay, so Mihoshi then goes to her seat
Yeah.
and starts punching in the different buttons and numbers.
Just hitting random numbers. Yeah, 8-Ball, what are you doing?
Numbers, hoping it'll take her to the planet.
Bringing up comms records from earlier to figure out where exactly this planet is, because you just said that planet over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're doing that. Mihoshi, give me a fortune roll. While
Gotcha.
you random number generate in an attempt to jump partway across this solar system. Dun, 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 dun. A lower would take the lowest result, a 1. Well, that might be quite lucky, because that means nothing happens. It just kind of hurts. You just kind of, and you stick your finger in a socket at some point because you're really not looking, and you. So take level 1 damage, burnt finger. From that.
So that study was
8-Ball. You figure it out real quick. Yeah, the name of the other planet that you're supposed to go to. In fact, let me just have a quick look here.
Hey, dog.
Yeah, you're on Indri, and you need to go to Lithios. It's 1 orbit out, so it's a real easy jump for you to program. However, as you're looking down, you see the frown gets deeper, and the eyes on the screen go from looking at your guest or looking at Rebel to looking over towards Mihoshi. Like, excuse me?
That's not where that finger goes.
The lights kind of dim for a second.
Wow.
A bit of smoke coming off the finger.
Yeah.
A tiny
like,
stick.
It's
A tiny
like
stick comes out of the control panel, and a flag comes off it that says "bang."
Not bang pew.
No, it's only weapons that go pew pew.
Oh.
Electrocuted
Anyway,
goes
no.
bang.
The first thing she does when she pulls her finger out, there's like it looks like a little match.
Yep.
With the head on fire. It just goes.
Yeah.
And then that's when the smoke goes. Yeah.
Perfect.
And,
I like that.
Wow.
8-Ball.
It's like her head least.
Before she has slept with the professor.
Yay!
I'm going to get through this sentence. She has slept with the professor and fingered your ship. What are you going to do to solve this situation?
I'm going to punch it without telling her.
And you're turning off the inertial dampers a little bit, are you?
Just a little bit.
Okay, you're in your chair. Mihoshi, give me a scramble. Give me a scramble while you try and stay in your chair. With one hand, because you're going and staring at the smoking finger.
So it's still risky?
Oh yeah, just risky and regular. Just go with the default settings, risky and standard. 4. So yeah, you it works. Like you start to fall back, you miss with your unburned hand, and just out of sheer habit, you reach over with your burned hand, and it reaches and grabs the counter, and you put another finger in the same hole, and that one bursts into flames too. You now have 2 blackened fingernails, one of which is still burning. So don't take a second layer, but take a second first level wound, as now 2 of your fingers are burnt. You start to look like match finger lady. But yeah, you managed to stay in your chair as 8-Ball boots it. You bend time and space and end up next to Lithios. You can see the planet outside of your port behind you.
I even have punch it as a skill.
Yes, you do. That's right. You can extra crank. So, you guys have to go back down to the. You know where you're supposed to meet him. Rebel tells you that. In fact, let's play the scene. He says, "Here's the address. I'm gonna get the hell out of here before your boss lady kills the shit out of me." And he goes to climb back onto his little thing, thinks better of it, and just pushes it back into the closet. Reaches up and goes to close the door, and she won't let him close the door a couple times, and then she slams it while his hand is still in it, and you just see his fingers pull back, and the door slams shut.
Now,
And you see that
Rebel.
flash of light again, and he's gone.
Now, Rebel. Try to be nice, please.
Very quietly in the background, you hear the Rebel Dalliance theme music.
Okay. She's gonna turn to 8 Ball now after
Thusly.
setting up and just like brush herself off a little bit. Okay, I know you're gonna drive, but which one are we taking? Referring to the dropship.
Okay, we are taking.
You scan the screen. Fiona has requested leave.
I don't blame her.
I think she's a little better than
and a complete memory scrub actually has been requested by Fiona.
We'll get to that later.
Fang is just angrier than usual.
I think we're actually going to take. We don't have a normal one, do we? Let's
Make
go.
one up. It just has to start with an F. You can have an infinite number of them down here. I don't
That's
care.
true. That's true. It's just a shuttle.
Francesca.
Francesca's the nice sleek one. Yeah, let's take that. And maybe this person will think they're going on a fancy ride.
All right. So, Francesca, you sort of a classy one.
Yeah, the
Classy but colored in red, green, and white.
Okay. It's a Ferrari. It's got the Italian flag right down the middle of it. That's all I saw was a Ferrari tricolore. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's my car nerd showing through. So it's got the red, white, and green stripe right down the middle. A little Italian flag at the front, and on the back there's a prancing horse and a yellow shield. Why not? It's called a Ferrari. Furruri. Yeah, it's a Ferrari.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about it.
This makes so much sense. It's got flared space wells. It's got darkened glass. It's got a big spoiler on the back, even though it's a spaceship. I mean, it goes into the atmosphere, but it's got a number on the door. Right? No, it doesn't. That's too far. But it's got extra wide jets. Like it's a sports car of coupes.
Well, I did say it was the luxury, the VIP shuttle.
Oh, so it's more like a Bentley. Like it's really fast, but it's all posh leather and fancy stuff. Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
You don't need to stretch for 20 minutes before you get in.
No.
So you guys drop out of the Rebel Dalliance, out of orbit, and down to the planet. It's very easy to find this guy's house. It's on a body of water, this big lake, and it's just mansion after mansion after mansion after mansion. Every one of them's got a spaceship landing port that's so big it's going to dwarf even the Francesca when you land.
As they land, 8 Ball is going to do a quick communique to the person you're supposed to be picking up with a quick flash of the guild license to show that they're on the level.
Absolutely.
Official.
Yes. How do you bring the ship in? Like, are you coming in nice and easy? Are you coming in hard? What are you doing?
Coming in as if nothing is wrong. This is a luxury vehicle. They can go fast, but they don't choose to.
Yeah. So sort of windows open that much with a bunch of classical music coming out of them and just cruising across the lake, sort of up to the absolutely.
Show the plebes just how nice this vehicle is.
Yeah, lots of chances for photo ops as you fly along. You pull in and land. As you sent the meeting, all you get back is just a check mark response to it. And as you pull into land, you see there's this little clear bubble on the landing pad with one person standing in it. He is wearing a dark suit and is surrounded by packages. Let me get rid of our fella here. Show you our new friend.
Old problem? New problem.
New problem.
Oh,
Like I said, wears a suit, so to speak. It's jeans, but those are like $1,000 Gucci jeans, right? The jacket is actually those colors. It's designed to look like it's dramatically lit. The tie and the shirt are slightly reflective. Those eyes are definitely not born that color blue. The hair, everything about him is just designed to look good. It's a spray-on tan. There's packaging all around him. There's suitcases, there's cargo containers, there's at least 2 of these fancy looking things that are down by his feet that are cold containers. You can see steam coming off of them. There are warning labels on just about every single package around his feet. Radioactive, toxic, do not breathe, mutagenic.
Mihoshi's gonna turn to 8-Ball. Oh, I'm sorry. I can barely hear you, Bison. That's
Sorry.
probably.
8-Ball apologizes to Francesca.
And Mihoshi's gonna turn to 8-Ball and say, "Do we have enough room for all that stuff that he's got in this vessel?" Actually,
Forge
makes
your own
coherent
thing.
sense.
We'll make it fit.
Actually, as that comes up, it's time to forge your own fate. You hear behind you at the back of the ship, as panels move, and the back of the ship changes shape to allow for storage.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
It's all good. So, with that, you guys land, do you? I'm asking 8-Ball primarily, so yeah. So you land, the bubble retracts, and he leaves the stuff there, steps over it, and walks towards the ship. Are you guys dropping a gangplank to let him in?
Are we?
8-Ball presses the ID up
Yeah.
to the screen or up to the glass and
Yeah.
points at it, basically expecting a response. Like, I have my license. You know who I
Yeah.
am. Agree.
Yeah. Through the window, you can't hear anything. You just see, first of all, he does exactly what he's doing there.
Roll the window down slightly.
Can't expect a man in my position to have identification. That would be suicidally stupid. It would be suicidally stupid for a man in my position to have that kind of identification on him. What kind of a fool do you think I'm? Let me in.
Check mark.
Don't let that one and that one touch.
A green check mark pops off. It's like, but this guy doesn't want to know who he's supposed to be. He's probably the guy we're looking for.
Name sold everything. How do you? Capital letters, all SOLD, just to show you how amazing I am. I sold everything. I sold bridges that ain't there. I sold whole planets that ain't there. This is here. Some of that shit's dangerous. Don't drop it. Open the door.
Door opens up.
And he
8-Ball
just
8-Ball doesn't have the courtesy package that Cue Ball does, so
No.
he's still just sort of watching him pass.
Yep. He has not touched his stuff at all. He walks right past 8-Ball, kind of looks at you, looks over at Mihoshi. So which one of you is going to show me my room?
This is just a transport ship.
Vague
where it's safe, that's it.
gestures vaguely to the entire ship. Like, this is
Right. So where's the best seat? I always get the best seat. I'm sold.
Do you prefer front or back?
That's a question I usually ask somebody's name before I answer, but I prefer both.
You can have my seat and I'll take the back.
All right, somebody missed something in the translation there. I'll go sit in the front and wait until we leave. Don't drop the red one. And every time he talks, there's another little warning or piece of advice about this stuff.
Alrighty then.
8-Ball assumes at this point that, that stuff might actually be important, and this guy would probably get a little mad if we got it, even though the
Yep.
contract didn't talk about taking the stuff, just the guy.
Absolutely. 8 Ball, while you're looking down at this stuff, give me a study. Okay. Yeah, it's you can see the warning signs on some of the stuff, and yeah, you can see that one, you wouldn't want to put those two together. Your WMIS safety standards are up to date. That's one of the things that has not melted out of your brain in 150 years. Chemical safety. So yeah, you understand there are a lot of very dangerous chemicals here, but you haven't put together anything more than that.
Yeah.
I was about to say
Yes.
with Mihoshi, I don't know. Okay, before her little accident, she would have known all of this stuff. What to do, where to put this, that, the other. Because of course she's been with the space a lot, the space patrol or whatever you want to, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
So, this Mihoshi though, the one is the Airhead USA. Or head of the universe, I should say, is not going to know where to put stuff, but she understands that she needs to get the stuff onto the ship. So what she's going to do is just grab some random items and start placing them onto the ship.
Firing them into the ship in a random order. Okay, absolutely. 8 Ball, I told you you know this stuff. Are you going to do anything when you see her starting to grab stuff?
Whatever role Mahoshi's about to use, 8 Ball is going to assist by putting them in an order so that she just grabs the closest one.
So you just slide them over in the right order, so you separate the bad things from each other without saying a word. I love it. Yeah. So between the two of you, you managed to get this stuff loaded. It's got every warning sign in the universe on it. None of this stuff is safe. There is not one of these packages that can possibly safely be opened anywhere that anybody is breathing without a mask. It's all hideously toxic. Mihoshi, as you're loading this stuff, as airheaded as you are, I want a doctor roll out of Mihoshi.
And I
want it to be difficult, but I want it to be possible.
And that's going to be with my assist.
Oh, just risky, right?
Yes, and you're going to assist, so add a die. Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness! Yes,
wow.
You're like bang, 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 bang. I wonder why 8 Ball's kind of putting them all in this order. It's like they were explosives or something. No, that's probably not it. I wonder if they were. And you kind of, in a moment of clarity, you remember a class you took. These are the ingredients for some very, very powerful and very addictive drugs. As you're shoving these containers into the hold of the Francesca. And then you kind of back into airhead mode, but you have that information. This is the ingredients for drugs. And the reason that they're kept separate, I'll give you that too. You rolled a 6. Why not? I'll give you the whole deal. The reason they're kept separate is once they're mixed, there's 3 or 4 different ones here. That's why it was hard to figure out. But once they're mixed, they've all got sort of a shelf life where they're only effective for sort of 3 or 4 days. So you've got the person on board is a drug dealer. And you're being asked to bring them to the head planet of the hegemon in this sector. You may now put 2 and 7 together and see what you come up with. Yeah, reply. See, please try again. That's because he's already smoked one with you. But no.
That was just gonna think what 8-Ball's gonna do.
Yeah.
Once everything's loaded,
yep.
It hands sold a waybill with a damage deposit.
Yep.
The damage deposit has at least 4 zeros on it.
Yep.
And kind of a very, you scratch this thing. This is my nicest car. You scratch it. This is going to cost you out the ass.
You can tell he pretends to read it. And he reaches inside his jacket and pulls out a rubber stamp that says "sold" on it and stamps the signature line.
Mihoshi asks for the paper for a minute.
It goes back to the.
Yeah.
She's gonna get, if she's handed the paper,
Yeah.
somehow or another a crayon is gonna end up in her hand, and she's gonna write in there one sample of each item things this makes.
that's part of the deal now. Is that he gives you a sample of each when you get there? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, why not? Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So he kind of looks at that. I don't know why you did it in crayon, but okay, sure. Yeah, for sure. I love this seat. And he's got your seat like completely reclined. He's pulled out of his other pocket this tiny little ball that he holds up and squeezes, and it turns into like a sun lamp. And he pulls out a pair of shades and puts them on and undoes his tie and starts to suntan his head in your cockpit of the Francesca.
Alrighty then.
Four-ball knows what
I did
this
it better
is.
myself. She
Wow.
just relaxes as best as she can in her chair and just does this thing.
Yeah, you're in the guest chair now. Like you're in the second row,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, just kind of like trying to copy him, but without the light.
Yeah, but he's just got cool down to an art form. 8-ball, what are you doing?
Now that everything's loaded and secured, 8-ball is going to take off. 4-ball is misting sold because 4-ball recognizes that and an old subroutine came up. It's like, I know what this guy
looks up at 4-ball, looks down at his hand and goes, "Interesting choice. Melancholy brown. Haven't had. I like that. Yeah, do the hands. And he's pulling up his sleeve. You see like platinum cufflinks as he pulls up the sleeves to get, and his tan ends here, right? It's just spray to the line, right? So yeah, he's kicking into that. He is loving every second. He says, "Oh wait, we're taking off. No, I always take a yellow one for taking off." And he reaches into yet another of his apparently infinite number of inside pockets and pulls out a handful, like a dozen big yellow pills that all appear to be vibrating slightly. He says, "They help with the nausea. Because if you don't give a fuck, you don't care about the nausea. Want one?" And he's holding it out to 8-ball, like no visible mouth. No, they're really good. You should have some. I know his voice keeps wandering. That's just me.
It's like, do you want one? Appropriate pithy response not found.
That's really good. Yeah, you could be a used car salesman. You're so good. How about you? Over to Mihoshi. Like this guy, you getting the feeling this guy's name is sold for a fucking reason. This guy he's just always on the sell, right? Yeah.
Her eyes kind of just light up, and it's like, "Ooh, is this a toy?"
Yeah, it's a toy for your mind. Always say yes. You see what I did there? He turns to you, 8-ball. He's giving you lessons now. You see what I did there? You always say yes. Always say yes to the customer.
4-ball's taking notes.
She picks one up. I'm assuming like that.
Yeah.
Is it gonna feel good going down?
It feels good all over.
All right, pop. And she swallows it.
There's a brief pause, and he says, "That's not the way most people take it. This should be interesting." And he just turns back and he said, "If you'll excuse me," and he takes two himself and slides his hand down the back of his pants. And oh, helps with the nausea. Oh, wow. And he just sits back in the chair, and it's now a vibrating chair. Like the whole chair is vibrating. Yeah, you are swallowing like a vibrating tablet that's going down your throat. There are some drugs in it as well, but mostly it's just a vibrating tablet.
Yeah.
8-ball. You guys have been told you need to get him there with no checks of any kind. He cannot be caught at these borders.
Where's the system now?
Now, the other challenge is you have just heard in the news today that a new gate has been discovered, and because of that, security has tightened up. So getting out of this sector is not going to be as easy as it was getting in here. The Terpsichore's vault stunt might not work.
Okay, what do we got? Let's take a look at the ship.
Let's see, whatever you can think of. Sold is just sitting in the chair, just rocking back and forth. There's obviously something on those pills, and it absorbs through the skin. So you can tell now, yeah, Mihoshi, as it kind of gets down here, it's kind of vibrating your lungs and your heart, which feels kind of weird. But now there is this odd sensation of massive relaxation just starting to hit.
Oh,
Mihoshi,
and some of my credits fixing this ship, making it better.
you have a flashback, for lack of a better phrase.
Works for me.
You are standing in a teenage girl's room. Your room. You're looking in the mirror at a teenage version of you. Similar uniform, different colors. Similar look. A little more experience now. A little more life. And in the background, you hear a strong male voice you've known your whole life. Mihoshi, quit dilly-dallying. You'll never make Colonel at this rate. And poof, you're back on the Rebel Dalliance. How do you respond to that? It was your dad.
Yeah. She's gonna blink her eyes a few times and then just kind of dazedly stare off into space, pretty much. She's just gonna be like,
Yeah. All these
So
little
she's
memories.
gonna have trouble, she's gonna have trouble putting two and two together for a while.
Yeah, little fragments that are popping in and out. Some of them don't want to stay. Some of them you don't want them to stay. It's a very confusing fractal moment for you.
Mhm.
Way more serious than Mihoshi normally is, but it passes. 8-ball. This is your shtick. This is what you do. You and the Rebel Dalliance lying to the authorities. I mean, that's all gambling is. It's
I
mostly
could lie.
lying.
I can
You've
lie.
watched people lie your whole life.
Or I could talk to the right person.
Absolutely.
Because
You tell me, what would you do?
I've been passing on information this entire time.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what's going to happen. We are going to approach the gate as normal. No transponder.
Okay, so you're coming in blank. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not coming in blank. Coming in as the Rebel Dalliance.
As the Rebel Dalliance. Okay. Okay, yeah.
I send a tight beam transmission to that person that I've been talking to this whole time.
Yeah.
She's on this ship. Let us through.
Oh, I like that. That is a command roll, please. I like that very much.
I'm going to
I was going to say, I would suggest using a gambit because that deserves an extra die. That was really good.
gambit
You got three new ones at the start of today because you get 3 at the start of every episode. So. Gambit and some stress?
Gambit, stress, and I want to say a third bonus dice due to the fact that this is the thing that I was telling you about, the one that we talked about right at the beginning.
Yep.
Because of who I'm contacting. That's why I think that is a third bonus die.
Mihoshi is gonna do an assist with her own contact to her smuggler.
You always know somebody, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Never told me the odds. And well, I don't have. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I don't have Noah guy. But I do have a smuggler friend who could be there.
Absolutely, they are. Yes. So at this gate,
and let her know that we're close.
Absolutely. So that will have another die for that as this other ship starts sending random half an SOS message and we're being attacked by aliens messages and helping to distract. So go ahead and so 3 extra dice.
3 extra dice. All right, let's do this. There we go.
644. So 6 is a full success. You used the gambit, right?
So I didn't take stress.
Exactly. So you don't get one back is all I was saying with the gambit because you don't have the thing that Mihoshi has.
Yeah.
But there is a brief crackling on the radio or no, not radio, because you said it was a type beam message. So you get a message back on the screen that says, it doesn't say anything. It's just an access code, like a really long one of those stupid 32-digit access codes.
A small one by 8 Ball.
Yeah.
So 8 Ball types that into the gate.
Yep.
Communication.
Absolutely. Works for me. And you, as you do, you're looking at the star map of the region, and the RA just disappears off the map. And you start to creep forward, and you can see physically out the window, you can see some other ships waiting to go through, and you can see the gate itself. But no one is responding to you in any way, shape, or form as you creep forward.
Just pile it on through like we're supposed to. The best way is to take it. Best way is to take it.
Give me a piloting check. I know you're good at this.
Hold on. Nope. That doesn't. So helm.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
There is another 6. Yeah. As you're approaching the gate, another ship starts to move its way in, because you being invisible, you're not in the official pattern, right? And you have to do a little sort of a wiggle, but what you do is drop in behind them, sort of in their prop wash, so to speak, and just follow them through. And the gate, you feel the gate closing behind you. Luckily, they were going where you were going. That was the 6. If it had only been a 4, you'd have got through, but you'd have gone somewhere else. So you successfully pop out the other side, back in the Rin sector. This sector, just as you pop out the other side, you're still under the protection of this code, but you can see a countdown timer. A range timer. So the further away you get from the gate, the less it's gonna stop at a certain distance away from the gate.
Okay.
But as you've got that sort of time to play, that blank time there, this sector is full of military ships, destroyers, frigates, even a cruiser or two. It's not full mobilization. None of the big capital ships are here yet. But obviously somebody's putting together an armada.
Yeah.
Given what you saw in the news, this is probably going to go through the newly found Hanta gate.
So as long as we stay away from that new gate, they got nothing to worry about.
And as you're drifting, you hear the seatbelts unbuckle in what used to be Mahoshi's seat. And Sold starts to get up and says, and he's just staring out the window, and you can see in his eyes, it's like he's looking at a million cops. I'ma just go to my room. I'ma just go to the back for a minute.
Forball takes Soul to the room with 0 windows, the one that's on the interior of the ship.
He's trying to go to the storeroom.
Storeroom?
Where you've got all the ingredients.
Oh, he wants to get high.
That's where he's trying to go. Mahoshi and 8 Ball. First, let's Mahoshi, 8 Ball, you had 4 Ball following him, right?
Yeah.
So okay.
4 Ball was trying to get him to
So you try and take him to the room, and he just kind of ducks under 4 Ball. He says, I don't know what you want, little buddy, but I'll get it for you later. You just lose me, okay? And he starts heading for the back. 4 Ball, of course, is not going for that shit. Yeah.
Going.
So he continues to follow. So you sort of see this from the distance. Mahoshi, your unstable new friend has just wobbled off to the back of the ship. Are you going to do anything, or are you going to stay up here at the front?
She's going to take out her spy gear.
Okay, yeah.
Make herself. Let's see how I'm going to do this. Either make herself look like him, or make him look like not him. Does that make sense?
Yep. He's gone down the other end of the ship, so you could make yourself look like him. Would be the easiest.
Okay, that works.
So, absolutely. So you now look like Sold. And the thing, 4 Ball is now sending you like beep beep messages. 8 Ball, he's trying to get into the storage. There's explosive stuff in there.
Door locked. We're still in space. Explosions are bad.
You just hear from the length of the ship, son of a bitch, son of a bitch.
Is there another door between the storage and him that we can just close and make it look like there's nothing there?
There is a door at the back of the cockpit, the safety door that you could accidentally close and seal him into the body of the ship. Yeah.
We haven't gotten back to the Dalian.
No, you're not quite back up to your ship yet.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. But that happens easily enough. While he's shaking the door, the Francesca rises up into the Rebel Dalliance. Total brain fart on my thing. You guys have been through a tunnel since then. Yeah, you're on the Rebel Dalliance. Never mind. Yeah. So yeah, it's a ways back. It's a frigate, so you had to watch it. So there's a number of doors between you and him. Pardon me. Yes.
Oh, what we can do, I think, is maybe just lock him in one of those doors and make it look like it's not there, right, Rebel? She just kind of brain fartedly asks the Rebel Dalliance.
Yeah. You just 8-Ball. You see a big grin form on the screen.
I know what she's up to.
So you guys are going to lock the drug dealer in a sealed room, basically, using the ship.
Well, lock him right next to where he wants to be, but not quite there.
I would say the Rebel is gonna, lock him in between the storage room where his stuff is.
Yep.
And where they are, and then just make it look like a comfy beach.
Absolutely.
Where sand appears up and holograms of beautiful ladies if he's into ladies, or gentlemen if he's into gentlemen, or whatever he's into up here, and just basically kind of make him relaxed and comfortable and make him forget about the fact that he's in the middle of what could be a life-threatening thing for him.
Perfect. 8-Ball, you hear 4-Ball's microphone picking up him talking, and all you hear is, "I don't remember taking 2 green ones and a blue one. Oh well." And he just lays down in the hallway and starts to suntan in the sun that isn't there. As you guys proceed forward.
4-Ball is going to keep an eye on this guy because
the eye.
Yeah, the eye. Yeah. But kind of at a distance. People on drugs are unpredictable.
Yep.
So 8-Ball is more concerned about this massive armada that against a stock frigate with no.
So yeah, you pop out. In this sector, you're wanted, but they're obviously not here for you. This is a war going on. One of the things, you have a couple seconds before the ship becomes apparently visible as the Rebel Dalliance again. So you could again flip that switch and at least try and pull the Terpsichore's vault trick out of the hat for the rest of this.
Yeah, that might be a better idea. I'm gonna turn on the transponder to make sure that they don't.
You see on the screens you're being scanned. Every ship that you get close to is scanning you. But it seems to be scanning. You recognize these. They're scanning for weapons and that sort of thing. There are scattered throughout the fleet. You notice because of some information that the Rebel Dalliance gives you. There are a number of ships in this fleet that have the cruisers have much more sophisticated gear. And at least some of those cruisers may have been on anti-drug patrol in the past, which would mean that they have drug sensing gear. So if you get too close to one of those, you may very well get sniffed out. All those ships are called Fido and referred to for some archaic reason as dogs. Nobody knows why, but they're sniffer ships.
Not related to the Cerberus.
No, not at all. Yes.
He's going to avoid those because that's obvious.
Absolutely. That's a simple helm roll, yeah?
Yeah, simple helm
roll for that. Never mind. So that's just...
And then, so we're heading to the home world.
Yes, the moon of the biggest the moon that is the capital city of this sector. It's where the hegemon's representative lives. Remember, the hegemon is light years away, right?
This is just
But this is just this is in fact one of their dumb relatives that's been given this sector. You're way out on the periphery of the actual hegemony, which is why you can get away with being pirates and not just getting wiped out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
how much trouble can one ship cause?
tune in next week. So I imagine your ship just just literally whistling through space. I'm a turf record Vaught. Nobody look at me. It doesn't say pizza on the side anymore, so you don't have the automatic anonymity and invisibility of that because you don't have Frankie here.
Yeah. We know it's a ship. They know it's a ship. And so it's gonna slide into the shipping lanes.
Yeah.
To just sort of blend into the crowd because without the reputation, it's just another ship.
Absolutely. And you just enter that the chain of trade. You're just another ship with stuff to sell in the line. You guys make your way in. Are you going to do anything about the dude in the hallway? He's just every time you check back, he's just having a snooze.
Forball has the illicit drugs ready just in case.
Okay. Because he looks up at Forball at one point and says, "Just tell me before we get there. I got to get amped up." I realize all my NPCs sound the same in this game. It's weird. I mean, just varying degrees of the same accent. Yeah. But yeah, he just asks for a bit of heads up before you get there.
Yeah. As we're heading, probably throw a little nerdery out here, hitting the L3 Lagrange. It's just a quick heads up that we are within put on your pants range.
Yep.
Of the capital city.
Yeah.
And if there's anything he needs to get ready now, to do it quietly and quickly and quietly.
And he sits up, reaches into his infinite pockets, pulls out a little package, and on it says "success" and 2 exclamation marks at the end. And he breaks it open, and it's a big ass hypodermic needle, and he just right through the suit jacket and just right into his arm, just boom, and he holds the thing up in his hand and it just shatters in his grip. Watch me sell. And he's standing at the door like he's walking. His face is up against the door and he's walking, just nah, and he's just talking. You got to buy this. You got to see this. This is the best thing you've ever seen in your whole life. As you guys are dropping down through the atmosphere.
What the hell?
And in a moment, he kind of looks to the side, almost like it's taking all of his concentration. Open those doors. I need the ingredients. And then back to shouting at the door. He's trying to sell the door illegal drugs as he's waiting to land. And he's doing really well. The Rebel Dalliance is like, you can see credits coming up, and it's about to transfer credits to sold. It's about to buy drugs from this guy. He's that good.
Doors open before he finishes.
Yeah, you're like 15 feet off the ground, and it doesn't matter. He just drops out talking. Did you open the doors to the storage chamber when he asked?
Yes, because he's going to be doing his own.
Absolutely. When he made you carry the stuff on the ship, but he goes into that storage room and comes out with all of it. Like he's got 3 in each, hanging off of fingers, and he's got 1 under each arm. He's got 1 balanced on each shoulder. He's holding 1 to his chest with his chin, and they're all sloshing and banging together and just being awful. And he just slams them down right outside the ship and starts the full snake oil salesman's pitch. I can see from your face that you suffer from a lack of energy and borderline exhaustion. And you, sir, you have clearly been weeks before you've had a proper sleep. And he's mixing chemicals as he's talking. There's small explosions and puffs of smoke going on. And you notice as he hands them out, it's almost magical. These people just tapping his credit card with theirs. And you can see a little spark of light every time it happens. And every time somebody says yes, he gets a little bolder and a little more brash. And you see some seams starting to let out on the jacket as he physically starts to get bigger. And he just becomes this like you know those slap chop ads with Vince? He is that on crack, but still likable. He
Oh
is
wow.
just he's up right up in people's faces. Sir, I know I have seen other people with ears like you've got. I can fix those ears. It is simply a matter of mixing the yellow and the pink. And he hands them to this guy, and the guy takes it, and just you watch one eye go each way. The guy's like $50 comes off his credit chip. The guy walks away. His ears are still just messed, but he is as fucked up as his ears are. And you can tell from what Soul told you before, he's one shot addicted. He is just making addicts by the second. And every once in a while you hear first one's free if anybody puts up any resistance at all to him giving them free drugs.
Well, this is definitely going to cause some destabilization in the hegemony, especially.
Yes, that
you thought
you
this-
realize as you're standing here, that was the point. This guy is going to get large portions of the officials, like the bureaucracy, the people that run this sector, so messed up that they can't do their jobs. This is a drug bomb that you have just released into the center of your sector.
Okay.
On the bright side, it will do you guys no end of good because now there's a gate that's open with fart wars going on, and now a drug war as well.
Mhm.
So as the two of you stand in the door, I guess we got back into Francesca and went back down to the ground because we had to land somehow.
Yeah, we had to.
So the two of you are standing in the door of Francesca looking out. I know this was a fairly short
8-ball
session,
sees
but there was
dollars.
only two of you.
All 8-ball
8-ball
sees is dollar signs.
Yeah, 8-ball's just watching it, doing the money, counting the
Yeah,
transactions.
it's like just following along as he effortlessly switches languages to the different.
Exactly. Everybody he talks to, he knows their language. 8-ball, you feel a tap on the back of your big black globe
The view screen pops around.
around the back. And there's 4-ball, and he's got his little weapon in one hand, and in his other hand, he's got a chip. It's a drug chip. He's kind of wiggling it. You know, if you put that in the little thing back here, you'll get wasted.
Well, 8-ball remembers what happened last time,
Yeah.
and that involved a station exploding. So,
Yeah.
or at least bad things happening there. So, a couple of visuals. First is 8-ball shaking no.
Okay.
Second of all is 8-ball a picture of a punch-in clock.
Yeah.
Like it punched.
I'm on the job. Yeah.
Yeah, and then an X.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
In response, in 4-ball's window, it clears to a screen. You see a tinier punch card go, and you see in the little window it says off duty, and then a question mark and an image, like a badly drawn, like 16-bit image of 4-ball with the chip sticking out of himself, dancing with his two weapons.
Okay, hold on a sec. 4-ball's going on a trip.
The fates seem to agree. 4-ball bows to you with great respect. This little message comes up in the window that says, "You probably don't want to see this." And click and back into the ship and into the... You just hear the equivalent of digital giggling as 4-ball heads off on a trip inside the Francesca.
Alrighty then.
Mihoshi,
Time to
take
make
us
up.
out. What did you make of all of this?
Well, she's going to get what she was promised
Mm-hmm.
in that little contract that he quote
Oh,
unquote signed.
absolutely, yeah.
And then she's just going to whisper to him, "Good luck, big boy. I know you can do this."
And
Oh shit.
he reaches into his amazing pocket again and pulls out this little, it looks like the test tube racks they bring drinks around in the bar? It's like a rack with 12. It's like that, but they're smaller and they're sealed, and there's about 30 of them. And you realize there's one for all the materials that he's got around you. So he's giving you like a tiny, like a master pack that you can mix and match as you choose. The thing is, like every box of chocolates, he's lost the instructions. So he hands you 36 random chemicals that you can mix together to get various forms of who knows what out of them.
Okay.
So we'll make those up when you decide to use them. For now, just write various illicit drugs on your sheet somewhere.
All right.
And as he hands that to you, he kind of grins at you, and he says, "Yeah, I've heard things about you. You want some?" And he holds up this. He pardon me in advance. He holds up a larger vibrating pill. He says, "You want as a memento? You want?"
Sure.
And he hands you that one.
Well, yeah, and then she figures out what to do with it, but she will use that once back on the ship and back underway. So I won't
This new
add on the
development
sheet.
of Mahoshi's is going to require some discussion.
Eight-Ball looks at the pill as Soul takes it out and just sort of watches it. The 8 gets larger.
Yeah.
And Eight-Ball does just
And you guys watch as Sold steps back into his element. And you could see he just drops. The whole world just disappears. And it's like watching a sun attract planets. They're just coming into his orbit, more like comets, because they come in, they have an interaction, and out they go again. And another one comes in. Everybody that comes in looks frustrated and angry. Everybody that leaves is all grinning and vacant. And pretty soon, if you watch for any length of time, you see the first one starting to cycle around and come back again. And again.
Oh my
Every
God.
time the loop gets shorter, they get less and less distance away. And as you guys walk back inside the Francesca, because it's getting freaky out there, you start to lift off. You look down, and there's a pattern starting to develop in this city, like magnetic filings, forming those rings and circles and patterns. And it's like somebody's turning up the power of the magnet as the rings get bigger and bigger and absorb more and more people.
Okay.
we should probably get the hell out of here.
You lift
Yeah.
up into the belly of the Rebel Dalliance. As you open the door, a small purple blur goes by your ear. 8-Ball just and into the Rebel Dalliance, bouncing off the walls. And just 4-Ball's got the zoomies, and he's just flying around the Rebel Dalliance. There's going to be some marks in the walls, but
Yeah, Mihoshi's gonna bounce her way into her room.
yep. Close the door,
And-
hopefully.
Close the door and copy what Sold had done before with what he gave her, not
Yeah.
the set, but the
No,
pill, and
absolutely.
just chill the rest of the night.
You spend the rest of the evening enjoying Sold's wares. That is a nice way to put that. Absolutely. 8-Ball. Everybody else in this ship is partying in their own particular ways.
8-Ball stops as well, sees 4-Ball take off, Mahoshi bouncing away. 8-Ball's got a different kind of purpose.
Yeah.
He's checking the data pad, waits, it's still walking, stops beside Fang, makes sure the payment went through, keeps walking. like waiting. Ding. Okay, we're good.
Payment received. Thank you. Your account has been
Remember what happened
reinstated.
last time?
No, that's just me.
8-Ball remembers what happened last time. It's a little bit bitter about it.
Yep. So he's paying his bills. And with that, for better or for worse, you have changed the universe again. You have bought the universe's best drug dealer to the center of government in your sector. So we'll see how that goes next week. Until then, we will drop the curtain on this week's adventure of Corsairs of the Cosmos. And I know this is when I do my thank yous, and I want to really crank those up today because I got 2 less to do. I want to thank Scarred and Raising. I mean, they're great people, and the fact they were unfortunately not able to be here is nothing against either one of them. I love them both to pieces. But you guys, my regulars, the ones that are always like, hey, if somebody drops out of a fun shot, call me. Like, I need 5 minutes notice. for you guys to be the ones that stuck in here tonight and just played this out. It's hard role playing with only two people. It's tough, especially in this one, which was mostly a role play episode. So I want to thank you both on a personal level. Thank you to Solar and Bison for that. The extra effort that you had to put in tonight to help carry the weight. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Mahoshi is a much dirtier girl than I ever thought she was going to be. Can I ask? It looks like it surprises you when it happens too. Is that part? Is she kind of taking her own?
I tend to go with the flow when I play my characters.
Yep.
If an opportunity is presented and it seems like that character would actually follow through with it, because I take a moment to think.
Yeah.
Then I just go ahead and go with it because
Okay.
you know
I
what?
like that. That makes it all my fault, which I'm more comfortable with. Bison, thank you again. Always a pleasure. I'm glad we finally got the camera set up so we can now have 4-ball in the picture along with your psychedelic background. It's awesome. Thank you for bringing this multifaceted character back into this game. I love this guy. He's so businesslike, but also he's just on the job, right? And but also he's completely nuts. So
he's completely nuts. They definitely
functional insanity. I like that.
Yeah, functional insanity. Just sort of rolling with kind of abiding Frankie, and a little bit of babysitting Mahoshi.
Yeah, sure.
But it's been a lot of fun. This character has been a real departure from literally everything I've ever done.
I appreciate the heck out of that, and I appreciate the heck out of both of you more than you can possibly imagine. Not just for tonight, but for all the times you've come leaping to my rescue and filled spaces. With that, there's 2 left. Thank you so much to chat. There's a couple of you left in there. Dak, I appreciate the heck out of you being there. Dak Moon Shadow. Also, Kalina. Come on, Lips. You can work. You're not allowed to quit yet. I need 2 more minutes. Kalina, thank you so much if you're still there as well. And other than that, the folks on YouTube that watch this in the future, thank you to you guys too. With that, as always, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, be nice to each other.
Bye.